Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on how to deal with the quantitative aptitude session or the section of the SSC CGL exam brought to you by TalentSprint. I hope all of you are healthy and your preparation for the upcoming bank and SSC exams is in high gear. You all must be aware that the notification for SSC CGL was released a few weeks ago, and the application is in progress, right? The last date to apply for this exam is 16th of June, as far as I remember. So if you haven't applied already, please make sure that you complete the application at the earliest possible, right? I repeat, the last date to apply is 16th June. So we have just about 7 more or 8 more days left. So make sure that you complete the application at the earliest possible and get started with your preparation, all right? And then you also know that other exam notifications are expected, right? IBPS has already released its calendar for its exams this year. So I'm sure all of you would apply for those exams as well, right? And yes, we have recently done with the SBA PO mains examination, which was a shocker, I'm sure, right? I'm sure you'll have a lot to talk about the SBA PO mains examination as well, right? What I've got to know from our students is that the paper was really very difficult and lengthy, right? There were like questions that needed a lot of time to arrive and answer that. And there has also been feedback online that if I can score 5 marks in reasoning, I think I should be able to clear the cutoff. So I think it was really difficult, but you know that the best ones would win. So I think you should not worry about that now. You've given your best shot already, right? All you can do now is just wait for the results, and meanwhile keep preparing for the other exams. Now, for the benefit of those who are new to this session, let me mention that there is this chat box right beside your video screen. So if there's anything that you want to ask or any questions that you want me to address, please feel free to post it to the chat box. I can see that a lot of you have already joined the chat. So let me just read out a few of your names and see who all are involved, right? So we have Shubham Joshi, Aditya, Ghansham, Vaishnavi, Gopi Reddy, we have Shivangi, Vijay Pandey, Prince Kumar, Monica Joshi, right? Prince Kumar has mentioned after a long time. So it looks like Prince has not been joining us in our weekly live sessions here. So welcome back, Prince, and I hope you are healthy and so is your preparation for these exams. Vijay Pandey says, please speak in Hindi. Well, yeah, that's interesting. You've asked me to speak in Hindi in English. So, okay, Vijay, I think as and when required, I'll also try and speak in Hindi. Like how our other videos are, right? I mean, if you look at a TalentSprint program where we've got videos for all the topics of all the sections, we have videos in both the languages, right? English as well as Hindi. So, yeah, we can also interact in Hindi. So if there's any question that you want me to answer, in particular in Hindi, please post that and I'll take it up, right? I think by default, English is what naturally comes out because we've been doing these instruction sessions in the medium of English always, but I'll try and address your queries in Hindi as well. Yeah. Then we have Sarang, we have Nabarun, and many others there, right? Sudhir Kumar, Prince Kumar and others. So good, welcome everyone, and I hope all of you are fully geared up for the session today, and yeah, your preparation for these exams is in high gear. So you know about the SSC CGL Tier 1 examination, right? Or the whole recruitment process as such, right? This is going to be a 3-phase process where phase 1 is a Tier 1 examination, phase 2 will be a Tier 2 examination again, right? And then there will be interviews, right? Interviews and document verification, etc. So the first phase, which is the Tier 1 examination, is tentatively scheduled from August 1 to August 20. So if you look at it, we are in June, first week of June now, right? End of first week. So we have the full of June and July left with us, right? So a couple of months before we go for the examination, right? In the month of August. And is 2 months time enough to get ready? I think the answer is yes, right? I mean, if you do the right things, if you plan your preparation with the right strategy, 2 months in my view is a sufficient enough time, right? So it's not just about the amount of time that you spend, right? It doesn't mean that only those who spend 6 months will be able to clear the exam. No, you have to spend the time doing the right things. You should know what is important for your examination. You should know what you should focus more on so that you can maximize your preparation and boost your chances of selection, right? So, factoring in all these things, I'm sure 2 months is definitely a good enough time to get ready for this exam, all right? Now, what happens in the Tier 1 examination is you are tested on 4 different sections. What are these sections? Quantitative aptitude, general intelligence and reasoning, English language, and general awareness, right? And you all must also be aware that SSC has gone online with its exams only last year. So last year, the CGL exam was online, and this will be the second year when the exam would be conducted online. And they also changed the pattern, right? What is changing the pattern? If you look at the last year's pattern, we had 25 questions in each of these sections, from each of these sections. So 25 times 4, 100 questions, and you were given 75 minutes of time, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes. So 1 hour and 15 minutes to attempt 100 questions. But this year, there has been a change in the scheme of examination, right? If you look at the notification this year, we have the same 4 sections: quantitative aptitude, general intelligence and reasoning, English comprehension, and general awareness. 25 questions per section, so that makes it 100 questions overall. But then only 60 minutes of composite time to attempt these 100 questions, which means they have reduced the amount of time given for the Tier 1 examination, right? As against 75 minutes last year, we've got only 60 minutes this year. So if you try to take the average there, we have about 36 seconds per question, right? 36 seconds per question to attempt 100 questions. And that's real competition, right? I mean, your time management skills are going to play a key role here in the Tier 1 examination, right? Because 60 minutes is like it just passes by, right? I mean, 1 hour, you start your examination, and even before you could realize, you will feel like, okay, time is almost over, right? So you have to be really quick, right? So all I'm trying to say is make sure that you do enough of preparation, right preparation with the right strategy, and enough practice, more importantly, in these 2 months, so that you can give your best shot in the examination. All right. And with respect to the contents in each of the sections, I think again nothing new there. You know what topics are tested in quantitative aptitude, what topics are tested in general intelligence and reasoning, what is there in English comprehension, what is it in general awareness, etc. Particularly in today's session, we'll be looking at the quantitative aptitude part of the paper, right? So we have 25 questions from quantitative aptitude, and yes, there's a list of topics from which these 25 questions can be asked. I think even if they ask 1 question per topic, you will have all the 25 questions from different topics in the examination. I mean, those are the number of topics, right? About 27, 28 topics altogether from quantitative aptitude in the SSC CGL examination. So what we'll do today is, look at the last year's paper, right? We have got a copy of the last year's paper. Again, this is based on memory, claimed to be based on memory. So we can just run through the paper and see what type of questions were asked, right? From what topics were the questions asked, how easy or complex were these questions, right? Very quickly we can do that. And then we will choose some of these questions and try and answer it here, okay? And in the process, we will understand what all you need to do so that you can boost your score in the quantitative aptitude section. All right, so that's the agenda for the next 30-35 minutes that we have in this session. But I think before we get into paper discussion and review of the last year's paper, I would like to hear it out from you guys about what you think is easy or difficult, and how's your preparation for this exam, right? I think a lot of you have joined the chat already. We have Abhishek Shah, DJ AVK. DJ AVK says SSC CGL is toughest. Abhishek has mentioned that mixtures and allegations is a hard nut. I think, Abhishek, you just got to learn the right technique, right? The right method to solve questions on mixtures and allegations, right? In my view, it is like any other topic, right? Easy. You just got to know what is the allegation rule. How do you apply it so that you can crack it very easily and quickly, right? We have Nath here who says, what to do with the general awareness section, please tell. I think there was one other guy who was asking me about the general awareness section there, right? I think general awareness, particularly in the SSC CGL exam, is a vast subject, right? I mean, anything under the sun can be asked, I mean, if you compare the general awareness of bank exams with what is asked in SSC exams, I think we have restricted number of topics when it comes to a bank exam, right? I mean, there the focus is more on banking, economy, etc. But when it comes to SSC CGL, I mean, even if you look at the curriculum there, they say that general awareness would include history, geography, polity, economy, science. Again, where we have biology, physics, chemistry, books and authors, stock GK, current affairs, awards, right? And whatnot, right? So anything can be asked. So now there are two ways to look at it. One is like it is real difficult because you must be aware of all these areas. You must do exhaustive reading, and that cannot be done in 2 months of time, right? Being very honest, you cannot get ready for a general awareness section in 2 months. I mean, you can prepare, of course, but it cannot be the same as other sections, right? I mean, in 2 months, you can get fully ready for quantitative aptitude. You can get fully ready for general intelligence and reasoning, and for that matter, the English language section, but not for general awareness. That's something which is done over a period of time, right? And I'm sure if you have been aspiring for cracking the SSC CGL exam, you would have been preparing for this on a daily basis, right? I mean, you got to read a lot, and make sure that you can recall whatever you have read when it is the right time, right? It sometimes so happens that when you look at the question, you feel like, "Hey, I had learned this, but I'm confused." That's not going to help you, all right? So I think what you actually need to do for general awareness is in the next 2 months, make sure that you spend at least a couple of hours every day reading different stuff, right? Important stuff, and get the right orientation in my view, right? Like for example, what we have recently done in our online program is, earlier we had 20 videos on general awareness where we had looked at history, geography, polity, etc. But now these 20 videos have been restructured and made into 126 parts, so that's easy for you to consume, right? So one of these 126 video will be like, for example, invasion of Dutch in India. Now there's like a 5-6 minute video where we'll discuss about what exactly happened there, right? When did they invade, and what happened, all that stuff from that particular concept in history. So it will be easy for you to watch video by video, right? And maybe make some notes and revise it before you go for the examination. But having said that, whether you're really comfortable doing all this static GK or not, one thing that you must make sure that you do very religiously for the next 2 months is reading the newspaper, right? Because current affairs forms an important part of this section, right? You easily get about 10 to 12 questions on current affairs, or directly or indirectly related to current affairs. So you have to make sure that you do enough newspaper reading every day, at least if not to one newspaper, and that to all the parts of the newspaper there, so that you can you can go and attempt the examination with confidence. I would still not say that you can get ready for the general section, but you should be confident that yes, I have done my part and I can go and take the exam now. Other sections are easy to crack. I mean, quant, reasoning, or English, you can prepare well in the 2 months of time, right? Yeah. Good. Any other general question before we get into paper discussion? Rohan Mahajan has asked that is graduation required or not? Graduation is definitely required, right? The minimum qualification you need is to be a graduate from a recognized university so that you can apply for these posts, right? AVK says, I was not able to clear the NIACL means exam and I'm depressed. Well, I think, AVK, you got to realize that failure is a part of this game, right? I mean, you clear some exams, you fail in some exams. So don't get depressed. I know it's disappointing. You feel bad when you don't qualify or when you don't succeed, but what's the point? I mean, just bounce back, right? Like they rightly say, this is like a boxing match, right? You don't get defeated when you fall down. You get defeated when you refuse to get up. So I think get up, pull your socks up now, and you should treat it like a stepping stone to your success, right? I mean, this failure should teach you some lessons. You should now sit back and analyze what actually went wrong, what could have been done so that you would make your performance better, and then accordingly prepare for the next exams. All right. Yeah. So we have many others who have joined. I think Mayank Jha, Preetam, Yeah, Mayank Jha has posted a question that, but sir, current affairs of May and June should be read those newspapers or earlier? Well, I think definitely the current affairs of May and June, and also like they say that at least 6 months of current affairs you must be thorough with, right? So also you got to look at the current affairs of the previous months. You cannot be going back and reading newspapers, but daily digest of current affairs are available at enough places. I mean, we do provide the daily current affairs. You can visit our blog, TalentSprint.com, where we have our blogs of daily current affairs. So you can go back in the history and check those daily digests that we release for current affairs, right? Pritam Gora says, I've become crazy about TalentSprint within 5 days. If you had only mentioned that, I would have got confused whether you're saying it positively or negatively, but the fact that you mentioned thanks a lot, sir, makes me feel happy. So I actually don't understand what you're trying to say, but good to see that you're happy, right? And I'm sure you'll find the platform useful. How to handle the arithmetic part, how to prepare for general intelligence and reasoning, what can be this year's cutoff for CGL. Now, Shantanu Srivastava here has asked me a very, very interesting question. I think one of my favorite questions, and I'm sure those who all know me already would know what my answer is going to be, right? So Shantanu's question is, what can be this year's cutoff for CGL? I'll be very honest, Shantanu. I have no idea. I don't know what will be the cutoff this year. Nayan Agarwal has mentioned 145.5. I don't know how he has arrived at that number because, I don't know. Nayan, you should throw some light on what make you feel that 145.5 is the cutoff, right? But I seriously have no clue about what would be the expected cutoff. Forget about expected cutoff. I'll be very honest. I don't even know what was the cutoff last year, right? It doesn't matter in my view, right? How does it matter? I'll tell you the cutoff this year is going to be 180. You'll prepare with some strategy, follow the same strategy, and just get prepared. Or not even 180. I'll say the cutoff is going to be 200, right? 100 questions. Each question will be for 2 marks, right? So 200 marks. Cutoff is 200. Prepare for that. Let's say, Shantanu, if I tell you that the cutoff is going to be 40 marks out of 200, for the sake of argument, if I say that the cutoff is going to be 40 because paper will be really very difficult or students will not perform at all, right? 40 marks. So will you just give up on your preparation because 40 to kya hai, score kar sakte hain. What's the big deal? No, right? And cutoff is something that's not pre-decided. Okay, I'm not pointing Shantanu in particular, but anybody who's worried about cutoff, I think just get out of that mode because it doesn't help at all. It doesn't help you in any way. It's like that, no? Is it a circle of concern or circle of influence? Can you influence the cutoff? No. What you can influence is your performance. So focus on that. It is just a circle of concern, but how does it matter? Even if I give you the history of all the SSC CGL exams conducted so far, will you be able to predict the cutoff? No. It's like asking me what is going to be the score in the match between India and Sri Lanka, let's say, in the ongoing Champions Trophy. You have the entire history available with you. Will you be able to predict that? No. So I think don't worry about the cutoff score at all. Just keep preparing. Okay, I think we've spent enough time in general discussion. I'm sure there are a lot of questions that you still have, but we will take it up as we move forward in the session and in our sessions in the next week as well. Let me now quickly show you some of the questions that are asked in the last year's paper, right? And you must know that quantitative aptitude here has got a list of topics. It starts from number systems, right? LCM and HCF, we have number series, then we have got, arithmetic aptitude topics like percentages, ratio and proportion, profit and loss, time and work, time and distance, simple and compound interest, allegations and mixtures, right? We have got partnership, ages, right? Data interpretation, okay? Then we have, topics like trigonometry, geometry, algebra, surds and indices, and a lot of other such topics. So I think there's a bunch of topics here. You got to make sure that you learn all the concepts and know the smartest methods to crack these questions, solve these questions, and keep practicing as much as you can, because the more you practice, the easier it gets. And particularly when it comes to quantitative aptitude, my suggestion to all of you would be that you spend at least 45 minutes every day, in honing your numerical skills or calculation ability, right? I think why do most of the students fail in quantitative aptitude or fail to score more in quantitative aptitude is not because they do not know the shortcut formula. It is because it looks like Sargam Gupta has been asking some question and he says, 5th time I was and I've not got an answer. Sargam, I'm sorry about that. Maybe I've missed it because the chat is running fast here. I'll take it up, don't worry. Okay, your question is there any best book for mind math? Yeah, the best book for mind maths is right on top of your head, here. You cannot learn that through a book. I mean, of course, techniques and all can be learned. You don't have to buy a book for that. There are enough of YouTube videos available. So just go through those YouTube videos. Whether you follow TalentSprint videos or some other video, it doesn't matter. But enough videos available on speed maths, right? Mental calculations. How do you do mental calculations? And practice. I think it's more to do with practice than anything else. And that's exactly what I was actually talking about, right? So I was answering to your question only indirectly. So, you have to spend 45 minutes every day on playing with numbers, because we don't fail in this section. We don't fail to score more in this section because of our, unawareness of shortcut formulae or how to solve a question. We fail because we are poor in calculation, right? And believe me, this is the fact. You may not really align with this now, but this is what happens. Most of the students fail to do calculations mentally. Okay, you have to practice enough so that you can do. I'm not asking you to do every calculation on without paper, but simple ones should not be done on paper, right? For example, let's say the question is what is 33 times 47. Now, if you are a student, aspirant who would do 33 times 47 on paper, I'll be very blunt, you're not fit for the exam, or you're already out of the race. You may go and take the exam, but you will not stand a good chance to crack these exams, right? 33 times 47 is a very simple calculation. Of course, you got to know the technique there, but if you don't know the technique, then you're not ready for the exam. So you make sure that you learn all these techniques, the speed math techniques that Sargam is also talking about, and keep practicing, right? Keep practicing. Or forget about 33 times 47. I've seen students multiplying. Sorry, say there's some confusion. Yeah, connection lost, but we've got it back. Can you see the session now? I think we're back, right? Any problem? Back now, right? Yeah, Dinesh has confirmed. Yeah, fine now. Nayan Agarwal, Mayank Jha, Arun Pratap, Ramesh, Vaishnavi, Nitin Garg, all of you have confirmed. Ashok Kumar says, I'm confident. Okay, he's mentioned something. Let me just read that. I'm confident for arithmetic because, okay, good. So I like that you're confident for about the arithmetic aptitude part. Looks like you've followed our tips and videos, but not in pure maths, right? So can you do something about it? Don't worry, we will take, we will do more on pure maths also going forward and help you with that. So let me just, tell you about the different topics that we tested, because I want you all to understand and realize that this plethora of topics on which you are tested in quantitative aptitude. So the first question here goes like this. I'll just quickly read the question. This, in fact, I think we'll be solving in the session as well. It says if 100 cats kill 100 mice in 100 days, then 4 cats would kill 4 mice in how many days? So it's like a puzzle type, looks like a puzzle type, but question is from time and work, right? I mean, the concept that we need to use here is time and work. So the first question is from time and work. Second one is about triangles. So here comes geometry. The third question is on circles. So geometry again, but on circles there. Fourth one says office opens at 10 a.m. and closes at 5 p.m. Lunch interval of 30 minutes. Ratio. So this is a question based on ratio. So look at the variety of topics, right? Time and work, triangles, circles, ratio. Then we have something on discount and profit, right? So that's a question from profit and loss. Another question on profit and loss where ratios are involved. Then there's a question on percentages, right? What percent of 1 day is 36 minutes? That's like what percent of y is x, right? Very, very important popular concept from percentage, right? What is x percent of y? What is x percent of y? X by y into 100. What percent of y is x? X by y into 100. So what percent of 1 day is 36 minutes? 36 minutes by 1 day into 100. Of course, both the numerator and denominator have to be in the same units. So do that conversion and then simplify. So that's from percentages. Then the next one is from time and distance. It says a car covers a certain distance in 25 hours and so on. So time and distance. Next one is on simple interest, right? Then the 10th one is on certs, right, or algebra. 11th one is also on algebra, right? X square plus y square plus z square equals to 14. Xy plus yz plus zx equals to 11. So what's the value of x plus y plus z whole square? So that's again on algebra. Then the next one is on trigonometry, right? Something on tan theta and sine theta there. 13th one is on number theory, number systems. 14th one is on trigonometry again. 15th one is on certs again. 16th one is on algebra. 17th one is geometry again, right? 18th is geometry. The 19th one is on average. Looks like a question on average. Yeah, he's talking about average, maximum temperature, etc. So 19th on average. The 20th one is on mensuration, right? Diameter of a sphere is twice the diameter of another sphere and so on. Then the 21st question is on what is this topic called? Heights and distances, right? A thread of a kite makes an angle of 60 degrees with a horizontal plane. If the length of the thread is 80 meters, what is the vertical height of the kite? So heights and distance, again, an important topic. And the last 4 questions, the 22nd to 25th question, are on data interpretation, which is like 5 charts. So if you see, they have kind of covered a variety of topics here, right? Starting from percentages, ratios, averages, time and work, time and distance, profit and loss, interest, to geometry, trigonometry, algebra, data interpretation, and everything there. So make sure that you kind of learn all the concepts and practice as much as you can. Now, without wasting a second, let me quickly share the screen and discuss some of these questions with you all. So here we go. All right, so here's the first question. I mean, one of the questions that we have chosen there. Sorry. Let's look at this. It says on 24th May, just trying to answer this question, on 24th May 2008, the maximum temperature for Delhi, Kolkata, and Mumbai were recorded as 35 degrees, 33 degrees, and 34 degrees respectively. What was the maximum temperature of Chennai? So the average maximum temperature of those cities would be 35 degrees. I think a sitter here, I'm sure you must be wondering as to why are we discussing this question, because that looks easy. I'm sure it's an easy one, but what is important is how quickly do you arrive at the answer and what method do you follow, right? It depends on what method you follow. By the way, all the questions are easy in my view, right? If you look at all the 25 questions, you can solve all the questions without any difficulty. But yeah, let's discuss some of these. So I'll give you 1 minute for trying this out, and your time starts now, post which we will discuss the solution. So on a particular date, the maximum temperature of 3 cities, Delhi, Kolkata, and Mumbai, were recorded as 35, 33, 34. What should be the maximum temperature of Chennai so that the average maximum temperature of these cities would be 35 degrees? Yeah, mine says it's very easy. And I've already got answers at 38 from Aditya, Saurav, Vaishnavi, Mayank, Prasanta, Swati, Satyendra, Gautam, Tulsi Ram. All of them have got 38. Prince Kumar has mentioned 36. 36 is also there in option 3. So Prince, your answer is not matching with what all your peers have got, right? So, well, most of you say it's 38, Prince has got 36. We'll review that, don't worry. Then we also have Supraja, Kirtinath, who got 38. And Prince is very confident that 5 seconds is enough. So Prince is very confident that 5 seconds is enough for this. However, your answer is not matching it. I'm not saying you're wrong, Prince, but your answer is different from others. We have Yashwant, Shantanu. We have Mizanur Rahman here. So I'm from Bangladesh. So hi, Rahman. Glad to see you here. But tell me, do we also have SSC CGL in Bangladesh? I'm wondering. But anyway, good to see you here. I'm sure you'll find this interesting. Vishnu God, Anirudh Singh. Yeah. So I think most of you have got 38. Prince has also changed his answer now. Prince says it is 38. So let's discuss the solution. Now, I don't know what method you guys have followed, but I'm assuming that this is what most of you have done. See, he's talking about 4 cities here: Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, and Chennai. And we have to find out the average of these 4 cities. So basically, if you say, look at the question. On a particular date, 24th May 2008, the maximum temperature of Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai were 35, 33, 34. What was the maximum temperature of Chennai? So that the average maximum temperature of these cities is 35. Now you know how we arrive at average, right? Average is equal to sum of the values by number of values. So you will say 35 is equal to sum of all the values. What are the values? 35 plus 33 plus 34 plus, let's say Chennai's temperature is C. This is to be calculated, right? Let's say Chennai's maximum temperature is C divided by 4. So average is equal to sum of the values by number of values. So sum of these values by number of values. Simplify this and you get the answer. So what is Chennai's temperature? See, 35 times 4. 35 times 4 minus these values, 35, 33, and 34. So do the calculation now. 35 times 4 is 140. 140 minus these. So 35 and 33 is 68. 68 and 34 is 102. Right? So 140 minus 102. 140 minus 102 is 38 degrees. Right? So we can say Chennai's maximum temperature or whatever that parameter is was 38. Option 4 is the answer. While the method is correct, answer is also correct, I would like to explain a different way of solving this. I mean, nothing wrong with that. It doesn't take much time. At best about 10 seconds, like what Prince had mentioned. But let me also explain you the other way of solving this question. And this concept is very, very important, right? See, here we have used the formula. What we have done here is average is equal to sum of values or sum of the observations by number of observations. So sum of the values by number of values. That's what we have done here, right? Average is sum of the values by number of values. But then if you look at the TalentSprint videos, right, our definition, or I always feel that the better way of looking at average is as an equal distribution. Average is not sum of the values by number of values. Instead, consider average as an equal distribution. Average is an equal distribution of all the values. So when we say the average here is 38, what do we mean? Sorry, not this 30. Average here is 35. What do we mean? We mean that if I take up the values from all the 4 cities and distribute these values equally, each person would get 35 or each city would get 35. That's the core there. That's the basic understanding of average. So it's like an equal distribution, right? Now going by that, what does it mean? See, 3 values have been given: 35, 33, 34, and something is missing. Chennai, let's say C. Same thing, C, right? Chennai. According to the question, the average of these four is 35, right? Average of these 4 values is 35, right? Now, very easy. When I say average is 35, I am trying to say that equal distribution is 35. That means each city will have 35. Average is 35 means what? Each city's temperature is 35 on an average. While the real case may be different, some will be more than 35, others will be less than 35. But we can say if you divide it equally, each city should get 35. Now, what we try to do is, based on that, just try to find out how much is the value deviating from the average value. How much is each of these values deviating from the average value? So if we look at 35 for whichever city it is, I think Delhi. Delhi's temperature is 35. Average also 35. So anything more or less? No, 0. There is no deviation. Look at the next city, Kolkata. Kolkata's temperature is 33. See, Kolkata was supposed to have how much? 35. As per the equal distribution concept, Kolkata is supposed to have 35. But it has got only 33, which means 2 is missing. Some 2 is missing here, right? Right? Similarly, if you look at the next city, Mumbai. Mumbai's temperature is 34. Mumbai is supposed to have 35, but it's got only 34, which means something is missing here. How much is missing? 1 is missing. Now, if average is to be followed, if it has to be distributed equally, whatever differences we have got here have to be adjusted in the rest of the values, which is only Chennai here, right? Chennai's temperature has to be found. So whatever -1 and -2 is given here, this has to be adjusted elsewhere. I mean, see again, don't get confused. You can either take it as like -2. I mean, loss is -2. So that loss of -2 and loss of -1 here has to will convert to the gain for Chennai. So as per our equal distribution concept, Chennai should actually have 35 because average is 35. But then the other two cities or all the three other cities put together have lost how much? 3. That 3 should become a gain of Chennai. It cannot go outside, right? I mean, whatever is the distribution, it should be between these 4. There's no fifth city available. So this -2 and -1 in these two cities will become +3 for Chennai. So 35 plus 3, 38 will be the answer. I hope you have understood the concept. Option 4, 38 is the answer. Same thing. I mean, that's what we do here as well. But this is like more empirical way of put in a formula and then simplify. Here it's logical. So the idea is this. It's like let's say 4 persons, they have got average 35 rupees each, right? So let's say Delhi has got 35 rupees, Kolkata has got 33 rupees, Mumbai has got 34 rupees. So basically, this person, I mean, I have to give 35 to each one of them. So I gave 35 to Delhi, but I gave only 33 to Kolkata, which means I have 2 rupees left with me. As let's say I am the person who is supposed to distribute equally between these 4 persons, right? So I did not give 35 to Delhi. I did not give 35 to Kolkata. I gave only 33. So I have 2 rupees left with me, right? I have pocketed this. I did not give 35 to Mumbai. I gave only 34. So 1 more rupee left with me. But eventually it has to balance. So when I'm giving it to Chennai, I will not give just 35. I will give +2 and +1 because this I did not distribute elsewhere. So Chennai's value will be 35 + 2 + 1, which is 38. I mean, simple concept. Equal distribution is a very simple concept, but I'm not sure how many of you have used this to solve the question. While in this particular question, it may look like the same, right? Whether you follow the formula or this one, it takes the same time, but I think conceptually, this is very, very important, right? So tell me, how many of you have followed the formula? How many of you have used the formula? And how many of you use equal distribution concept? I mean, that will help me understand what methods you guys follow. Prince Kumar says, I assume 30 to each. Why 30? He has clearly mentioned that the average is 35. So why do you have to assume 30? Take it as 35. Everybody should get 35. These 2 people have got 2 rupees and 1 rupee less. I'll take that 3 rupees and give it to the 4th person. And done. So how many of you have followed this concept of equal distribution and how many of you have actually used this when you had solved it? Okay, Naman Agarwal says he's used equal distribution. Pritam says, okay, Pritam has learned this today. And looks like many others have used. Prince Kumar, Mayank Jha. Mayank Jha has mentioned he's followed equal distribution. Kirti Nath has used equal distribution. Dinesh has understood this. Anybody else? Any questions anywhere? Aruna says, I use the formula, but your method is simple. Yeah, it's very simple. I mean, it's not about my method, but the method is easy. Equal distribution is very, very easy. And let me tell you, this is a basic question. Even the more complex ones from average can be solved very easily using the concept of equal distribution. I'm sure you know this popular classroom and teacher question, right? Average age of a class is so and so. When the teacher's age is included, average increases by 1, decreases by 1. While you can use formula to solve that question, just go by equal distribution. It hardly takes any time. I mean, if you practice a few more questions this way, by the time you finish reading the question, you know what the answer is. And I'll be very honest, I'm not bragging about my skills, but by the time I finished reading this question, I knew that the answer should be 38. Of course, only at the end I saw that 35 degrees is the average given there, but you just look at those 3 values, 35, okay, 0, 33, 2, and 34, 1. So these 3 will come and get added to 35, and you're done. You don't have to put pen on paper. That's the best part. Okay. So done with this, let's move a little faster and solve maybe a couple of more questions before we call it a day. So sharing the screen again to present the next question to you. Let's take something from algebra, right? This is on interest. We'll come back to this later. Let's try this now. Try this. So here's a question. It says 1 by root a minus 1 by root b equals to 0. He's asking us to find what is 1 by a plus 1 by b. So 1 by root a minus 1 by root b is equal to 0. 1 by a plus 1 by b equals to what? 1 by a minus 1 by root b is 0. So 1 by a plus 1 by b equals to what? options have been given, right? 1 by root AB, 2 by root AB, 1 by 2 root AB. Try to solve this. Abhishek Shah has got option 1, 1 by root AB. Prince Kumar has got option 3, 2 by root AB. Nayan Agarwal has also got option 3. Abhishek has now changed his answer to 1 by 2 root AB. Abhineet Gupta has got 3. Yeah. Kirtinath has got 3. Tulsi Ram has got 4. Pawan has got 1. Aruna has got 3. Swati, Anirudh have also got 3. Yeah. So let's take it up. I think there's some confusion there. 1, 3, 4, and all. Let's solve. So how do you deal with this one? I mean, simple question. He says 1 by root A minus 1 by root B equals to 0. That's one condition given to us. Based on this condition, he's asking us to find out what will be 1 by A plus 1 by B. Now you can do a lot of drama here to arrive at what is 1 by A plus 1 by B. I mean, work on this equation. The only thing that you can work on is this equation given to you, right? I mean, it's like this. No, if you take the LCM as root AB, then this will be like root B minus root A equals to 0. And I don't know what's the next step because I don't follow these methods, right? Waste of time in my view. So root B minus root A equals to 0. Then overall you can say root B minus root A, or basically B is equal to A, right? B is equal to A. And that's what we come at, right? If you go by this solution, root B minus root A by root AB equals to 0. Then finally, when you take root AB to the other side, we have root B minus root A equals to 0. Let me put that step as well, right? Root B minus root A equals to 0. Or from this, we can say root B equals to root A. Root B equals to root A. And then we can say B is equal to A. B is equal to A. So that's the understanding. B equals to A. This can happen only when B is equal to A. And you don't actually have to do this. I mean, the only way that 1 by root A minus 1 by root B is 0 is only when A and B are equal, right? So A is equal to B. That's the conclusion. Now substitute that back in this requirement, right? So 1 by A plus 1 by B. So we can say 1 by A plus, instead of 1 by B, I can take it as 1 by A itself. So 1 by A plus 1 by A will become 2 by A. So the answer is 2 by A. But look at the options. In the options, we don't have 2 by A available. But then you need to remember that B is equal to A. So wherever we have B in the option, let's substitute A. So 1 by, this becomes what? Root over A into A. Root over A into A. Root over A into A is root A square, which is A. But is the answer 1 by A? No. So option 1 gets eliminated. This will become root A into A. Root A into A is root A square, which is again equal to A. But incorrect, because we want it to be 2 by A. Similarly, if you look at third option, 2 by root AB. So root AB is like root A square, which is A. So 2 by root AB becomes 2 by A. So this is 2 by A. So option 3 is correct. And then here, we don't even have to verify option 4. So this is one way of doing it, right? Where you find the option 3 is the correct answer. However, in my view, a simpler way of solving such questions is to just go by substitution, right? Substitute values in place of A and B. Substitute values in place of A and B, right? Just go for substitution. Substitute the values in such a way that you don't violate any of the conditions. Now here the condition given to is 1 by root A minus 1 by root B equals to 0. Simple substitution. Substitute A equals to 4 and B equals to 4, or 1 and 1, or maybe 9 and 9. You can substitute 5 and 5 also, but who would simplify root 5 now? I mean, we don't want to get into that, right? Substitute A equals to 4 and B equals to 4, right? Assume A is equals to 4, B is equal to 4. So 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, which becomes 0. He's asking us to find out what is 1 by A plus 1 by B. Now 1 by A plus 1 by B equals to 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2. 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 is 2 by 4. 2 by 4 is like 1 by 2. So basically, if we assume A is equal to 4 and B equals to 4, we satisfy the given condition. And by substituting the same values of A and B as 4 in the equation that needs to be solved, we get the value as 1 by 2. We have got the numerator as 1 by 2. Now, how do we verify this from the options? Substitute the same values of A and B in each of these options and see which one satisfies. And you're done. Substitute one after the other and check. So this becomes what? I mean, I'll do it mentally now. So 1 by root over AB will become 1 by root over see, A and B were 4 and 4, right? So 4 into 4. So root 16. Root 16 is 4. This becomes 1 by 4. But we want it to be 1 by 2. So eliminated. This is root over 4 into 4. Root over 4 into 4 is 4. What we want is 1 by 2. So eliminated. This is 2 by root over 4 into 4. So root over 4 into 4 is 4. 2 by 4 is 1 by 2. And that's the answer. Yeah, take it. So substitution is a very, very important technique, right? Prince Kumar, I can see Prince's comment here. Let me come back to the video. Very simple technique. Just go by substitution, get the answer. Princess, please give some tougher questions. But I would love to discuss tougher questions, Prince. But unfortunately, these were what I mean. This is what was asked in last year's paper, right? So I don't find anything tougher here. Everything is easy. I'm just trying to, again, I think you're getting into a wrong path when you try and solve more and more tougher questions. It's important. I'm not saying you should not solve tough ones. But if you realize we are actually committing mistakes in the simpler ones. Again, I'm not pointing you in particular, but that's what is happening. I mean, that's what I get to see from the performance of students, right? I mean, we have Tia who's got a lot of analytics about how people behave during an exam. We actually commit mistakes in simple questions, not in the complex ones. We don't even attempt those. That's a different story. Simpler ones, let's try to keep it simple. And if you can do that effectively, you don't have to worry about anything else, right? I mean, like I always, not always, but many times I've mentioned this in my in our paid sessions. Right? I mean, we do 3 sessions every week, every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Saturday, 6 to 8 for doubts clarification, right? So they have discussed this multiple times with the TalentSprint students that, this actually goes in Hindi. It's one very, very simple line, but very powerful in my view, which says, इंसान ठोकर पत्थर से खाता है, right? पहाड़ों से नहीं. So that's exactly what is happening. Okay, I'm sorry. I think there was some challenge there. Let me quickly present the screen and solve that question before we face this one more time. Yeah, here's the question. If 100 cats kill 100 mice in 100 days, then 4 cats would kill 4 mice in how many days? Quick. Correct? Okay, so we have Shantanu and Ramesh who have got option, who have got 4 as the answer. I don't know, 4 or option 4, because both are there here, right? 4 days of option 4. But then there are others who have got 100, right? Mayank, Naman, Abhishek Shah, and Abhineet Gupta. Yeah. So guys, you have to kind of be a little clear here this time. When you say 4, do you actually mean numerical value 4 or option 4? Because many others have got 100 as the answer, which is option 4. And Saurabh Suman has got a different answer. He says 25, which is not there in the options at all. 25 is not there in the options. So let's solve this. What is the question? If 100 cats kill 100 mice in 100 days, then 4 cats kill 4 mice in how many days? Now, if you actually look at it like a something that should rhyme, then answer would look like 4 days, right? 100 cats, 100 mice, 100 days. Then 4 cats, 4 mice should be 4 days. It's like a shairi, right? So it should rhyme. And if you go by that rhyming, you'll mark 4 days as the answer, which is wrong. 4 days will not be the answer. Simple. 100 cats can kill 100 mice in 100 days. Then 4 cats would kill 4 mice in the same amount of time, 100 days only. I mean, very logical there. Anyway, let us do it mathematically using the concept of time and work. See, what is happening here? 100 cats is like 100 persons, like treated like persons. And days, of course, like days. Killing mice here is the job. This is the work. Killing mice is the job. I mean, you're doing something, right? So this is the work. And this is days, of course. So persons, work, and days. And you know that work can be measured as number of persons into number of days. Work can be measured as number of persons times the number of days. Work can be measured as number of persons times number of days. So there are 2 cases here. Case 1 where 100 cats or 100 persons have killed 100 mice in 100 days. They have done, the work that they have done is 100 units. Killing 100 mice is like 100 units of work in 100 days. Then in the second case, 4 persons would do 4 units of work in how many days is the question. So this is like W1 by W2. When you try to use proportionality, you get W1 by W2 equals to P1 D1 by P2 D2. Okay, P1 D1. P1 D1 by P2 D2. Just do that. So what is W1? The work done in the first case is 100 mice. Work done in the second case is 4 mice equals to number of persons in the first case 100 into number of days in the first case 100. Number of persons in the second case 4. Number of days in the second case has to be calculated. And by the way, when you're solving it in the exam, you only put this step on paper, right? You don't put all this. You don't do all this drama in the exam. You won't get extra marks for that, right? Cut down the number of steps that you write. So 4 and 4 gets cancelled, 100 and 100 gets cancelled, D2 is 100. It takes 100 days. I'm glad that most of you got 100 days as the answer, right? But I mean, like some of you had mentioned 25 and all, but 100 is the final answer, right? 100 is the final answer. Simple question, but yeah, if you don't pay attention and if you try and answer it in a hurry, you may end up marking a wrong answer, right? I mean, 100 cats, 100 mice, 100 days, 4 cats, 4 mice, 4 days. But that's not the equation, right? That goes against the equation. So basic concept of time and work, presented a little differently there. Okay, yeah. And then there are like many other questions, but we don't have enough time, so I will have to close the session here. However, I would say you should go through this previous year's papers, which are available in the market, right? Also available as a part of the TalentSprint program, and solve these questions. Not that similar questions will be asked this year, right? But that gives you confidence. I think while I always say that there's nothing that is predictable, right? Anything can happen. So, this year the paper will be like very, very difficult. You never know. But solving previous paper is not important from that point of view. Solving previous paper is just to add to your confidence, right? I mean, when you walk into the examination hall on, any day between August 1 to August 20, depending on your, examination date, you should be confident that you have done everything that you were supposed to do, right? I mean, imagine that you have not solved the previous paper. You have done enough practice. You have learned all the concepts. But if you walk into the examination hall without solving previous papers, somehow this thought will be lingering, right? I mean, like, I have not done that. And what if that comes? So, just to avoid that, you need to solve. You get me? So make sure that you just go through these previous papers and do enough model papers, right? Practice enough questions, take online mock tests, right? I mean, now that the exam has gone online, it's important for you to also practice online. Doing it on paper is not going to help. Okay. So yeah, I think to summarize, I would say 2 months is enough for your preparation of SSC CGL examination. Quantitative aptitude section is what our focus was today. So you'll have 25 questions from this section. I think you will not be spending more than like 18 minutes out of your 60 minutes for this section, right? You cannot spend more than 18 minutes. So your target is to like attempt 25 questions in 18 minutes of time. So prepare with that as the target, right? And yeah, it's important to learn things like choosing questions wisely. You should know what to attempt, what not to attempt, or when to skip a question. Usually that does not happen in quantitative aptitude, or it doesn't really happen in any section of SSC exams. I mean, it's like very much applicable when you go for bank exam. But yeah, here also you got to learn those traits, right? Choosing the questions wisely. Time management is going to be very, very important. I mean, if you have decided that you'll spend 18 minutes on quant and not more than that, you just move to the next section once you have spent your 18 minutes, irrespective of how many questions you've tried already. You're getting it. And also when you practice, when you take mock exams or only a mock exam that you can take up using TalentSprint platform, you should do the same thing, right? Maybe try different strategies in the first 2, 3, 4 weeks and find out which one works the best for you. And just follow that and maximize on your preparation. Okay. Somebody asked me, is 10 hours per day enough? Even 3 hours a day is enough in my view if you do the right things, right? I mean, it's not about time. It's not just about time. It's about how do you spend that time. I mean, there can be people who spend like 12 hours a day, who will spend 12 hours a day next 2 months, but they may not qualify. And on the other hand, we may have students who spend only 2 hours a day and then they crack it, right? So I think it's not about hard work alone, right? It's about smart work. So do the right things with the right strategy, and I'm sure you'll find it easy to crack. On that note, let me close it here. Thank you all once again for joining us in this session. We'll meet again, same time, same day next week with a session for SSC CGL examination on English language or general intelligence and reasoning, right? Sessions details will be made available on the YouTube channel. So if you can follow our YouTube channel and Facebook page to get those details. And yes, if you are looking for a program that can help you get ready for these exams, don't forget to check out TalentSprint.com, right? And I think my only suggestion would be, irrespective of which program you join or which center you join, start your preparation right away, right? Because that's very important for your success, right? So start now. Thank you once again, and see you all in the next session. Take care.